Let's talk now about water. Yes, the Ghana Water Company Limited. You see their logo right behind me. And it's all because they are collaborating now with national security to ensure that water thieves, in quote, are dealt with. According to the Ghana Water Company Limited, about 50% of the water it produces is used without payment. So what are the latest dynamics? What does the Ghana Water Company Limited have, does it have to say on the back of this? We know that utility providers are calling for more. The Electricity Company of Ghana has called for about 100% increment in tariffs. The Ghana Water Company Limited as well. But what does this mean to its operations and what is the way forward? Well, we'll be joined shortly by Stanley Marty, who speaks for the Ghana Water Company Limited. We actually have him, but we also have Patrick Apoya, Executive Secretary, Coalition of NGOs in Water and Sanitation, that is CONIWAS. Gentlemen, a very good morning to you. You will have to unmute, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Right. I'll start with you, Mr. Marty. It's been a while. I mean, we've been talking about these developments, but no one knew it was this stark, 50%. On the back of that event yesterday. How did you come by this figure, though?
Okay, so for our non-revenue water, as of 2017, it was 55%. We have a way of calculating because we measure the volumes of water produced from our treatment plants, the volumes of water that we pump into the system, and then we juxtapose that with consumption of our billing. So the difference will give us unaccounted for water or non-revenue water. So this calculation is quite accurate as at 2017. And it's been one of the challenges for global utilities. I mean, non-revenue water is a serious challenge for all utilities, actually. So for us in Ghana, we have taken it very seriously. And we are working a serious on non-revenue water because it is costing us a lot. Now, non-revenue water is categorized into two or has two sides to it. We have physical losses and we have commercial losses. And the physical losses are the leakages and bursts that we see, and then the commercial losses are the losses where people consume the water and not pay or use clandestine means to get water through our pipelines and what we call.
So we're still getting some details from Stanley Marty, PRO of the Ghana Water Company Limited. But the point to be made is that some 50% of the water produced by the Ghana Water Company Limited is unaccounted for in terms of revenue. In other words, people steal that water either by not paying for the services they consume or by employing illegal routes to tap into the Ghana Water Company Limited's sources to get water but evade payment. And that is the matter in question now. That is what the Ghana Water Company Limited has been speaking about and we're addressing. Stanley Marty, you were making a point. We lost you. Just rehash that point you were making. Hello, Mr. Marty. Please unmute.
Am I on now?
You're on now. I can hear you.
Yeah. So since 2017, we have done a lot of investment so that we could reduce the non-revenue water. We have actually set up a department to handle non-revenue water. We have resourced them. Now we are using digital smart meters, in all our installations and then in the homes of our customers, so that we are able to get accurate readings, and then we'll be able to reduce our non-revenue water, because the mechanical meters, we have also realized that doesn't read accurately. We also have very old meters in the system that may not also be reading accurately. So our policy now is to go digital, which we are sure of its accurate readings, And so we are changing, or we have a policy now to change all our meters into digital smart meters so that we can calculate effectively. Now, as at 2021, we've been able to reduce non-revenue water from 55% to 46%. As I speak today, as of last month, our calculation amounted to 42%. So we know we are still going down, and we have a target of 34% by 2025. And I am sure that with the investments being made...
What was the target again, just to clarify? Did you say 34% by 2025?
40% by 2025. And I'm saying again that we just want to be moderate with setting our targets. But with the way things are going, we are very sure that even by 2025, we will do better than the 35% that we have set for ourselves. So we are really working seriously at it. Now, globally, the allowable losses for all utilities is between 20 and 25%. And as a utility where we have a vision to become a world-class utility or world-class leader, we are poised and working as seriously at attaining that target or even doing better. And if all Ghanaians will support the Ghana Water Company Limited, we should be able to attain that feat. Because one major challenge that we have is illegal connections. And so if we are able to curb that, even at 80%, we should be able to hit that target in no time. So we are working really seriously at that.
Let's look at your revenue figures, and let's also look at how this would impact even your calls, for example, like you have put forward now for higher utility tariffs. Let's take a quick look at that. So per what we gather from your event recently, in terms of water sales, a total volume of 172.7 million meters cube was sold in the year 2021, 22.8% above the volume of water sold in 2017. That is 140.6 million meters cube. But in terms of billing, the total water revenue for 2017 was 887.1 billion, increasing to 1.2 billion in 2021. And in terms of revenue collection, 2017 and 2021 raking in 669.5 million and 902.2 million respectively. Now, while there have been some increments, you're still bleeding as far as the numbers involving people who are not paying for water is concerned. My question is, so if these numbers are shot down, like your 2025 projection of 35%, would that mean that we would need to have fewer utility tariff increments?
Yes, we made that also part of the proposal. And so, now the tariffs are supposed to be for a 5-year period. And then we are going to have a similar calculation like the automatic adjustment formula every quarter. And now they've changed the name. And so, but it's going to be very similar to that of the automatic adjustment formula. So that every quarter, the factors used will be looked at, will be reviewed, and if it has to go up, it will go up. If it has to come down, it will come down. But we had made it part of our proposal that all things being equal, if we think should go the way we expect, then tariffs should be going down and in the future and not going up. But if we still continue the way we are, then it means it will still be going up. For instance, we've never had a cost-reflective tariff. So we are praying that we get a cost-reflective tariff so that we'll be able to do the investments that we have envisaged for ourselves. And then we can reduce cost of production and everything. We also have to look at the pollution of our river bodies, our sources. The sources is also another major challenge because we now use more chemicals, and the cost of chemicals on the world market is always going. The cedi is dancing against the dollar. And so all these things affect us because all the...
Okay, so we appear to be losing Stanley Mate once more. If we don't get him shortly, we'll move on to Patrick Apoya. I think the point has been made on that question I posed. But let me bring in Mr. Apoya, who is a wash specialist with Coniwas. For you, when you look at some of these proposals by the Ghana Water Company Limited, especially in terms of utility tariffs and some of the measures, the task force that is being implemented, how do you react?
Well, to start with, let me just correct that I'm no longer the executive secretary of Coniwas. I'm now a member of Coniwas. Just a correction for the public.
Right.
First, we will try to congratulate Ghana Water Company, the team, for a good work done. And if I just take a step backwards, you remember in 2000 there was a huge hullabaloo about privatization and anti-privatization campaigns. And one of the reasons that was being pushed was the inefficiencies of Ghana Water Company Limited. Non-revenue water was 55%, around 57% around 2000. By 2005, it came to 55%. And that was the time that Aqua Vitens came to participate or took over the management of Ghana Water Company Limited. Now, one of the key performance indicators for Aqua Vitens was to move it down from 55% to 45% within 5 years. But unfortunately, with all the best intentions and all the effort of the international company, which was a joint venture between a company in South Africa and the Netherlands, they could only move it from 55% to 52.3%. That was just a marginal drop in 5 years. So for the MD and his team to consciously beat it down from 55%, it went back again to 55% in 2017, as Stanley said, and it is now below 49% currently, as he's saying, maybe 42% if it turns out to be the case. That is no mean achievement.
I think he mentioned something around 44%.
Around 44%. That's no mean achievement at all if you compare what an international company achieved in 5 years and what they are achieving also in 5 years. It is the first time that we are seeing like good intentions or a really determined move by the company to deal with this problem. And technology is one, but there's also a human factor that technology cannot address. And those factors are related to some of the company-related inefficiencies that they need to tackle. And those ones, it's more about collusion. There's nothing a manager can do to stop the problem completely if staff themselves are colluding with customers to entrench the problem. Now, if you look at the way they bill, it would have been good for Ghana Water Company would have liked to just bill what they can recover for their costs, regardless of whatever they're able to bill. But Public Utilities Regulatory Commission has a formula of ensuring that the company doesn't pass its inefficiencies to consumers. So if you produce water and half of that water, you lose revenue on it. Just imagine the amount of money you are calling that per year, this is what they generate. The money you are calling, which is 900 and something million, is the same money they are losing through the non-revenue water that they were not getting, even more when it was 55%. So if you had all that money, maybe the bills you're receiving now would have been all right. But unfortunately, because of that volume you're losing, you are always short of money, and they will probably bill customers to make it up. So our reaction is the company is on a good trajectory. They are doing very good. If they can keep on the interventions and the focus, then the kind of increment they are looking for, we agree that it is not cost recovery. But remember, in water, we are balancing social needs with the economic needs. Ghana Water Company currently is not a category 4 subvented organization. It's still a category 3 subvented organization, which means that they are still receiving government subsidies for some of their core operations. So it is not, they have not yet weaned themselves off the government budget yet. So it is also not 100% okay that immediately they will just move strictly to a 100% cost recovery formula for calculating tariffs. We are not saying they should operate at a loss, but there has to be a balance at which level they will be making 100% recovery for their inputs, some profit that can attract international investors to join the company without putting unnecessary burden on the consumer. And that
on that very tangent, Patrick Apoya, do you feel it is realistic what the Ghana Water Company Limited has been calling for in terms of tariff increments in recent times?
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic to consumers. It's realistic to Ghana Water Company Limited. Because, as I mentioned earlier on, the thing that PURC is looking at is to ensure that the company doesn't pass inefficiencies to the consumer. But right now, there's an inefficiency from our economic managers. Those who are managing our economy, having allowed the city to fall so much, it is just simply not possible to say, pass that inefficiency to, even though it is not a problem of the company. The fact that their importing costs are rising, it's not their fault. It's a result of the economy. And now to say that the consumer should come and bear that again, we don't think that is appropriate. They should find better ways of seeing how to source most of the items locally. The volumes of things they consume, if we could encourage local production of some of them. And in some of those chemicals, they are more sophisticated than the pharmaceuticals that are produced in Ghana, that we can produce some of them in country. I think that's why the company should be looking at moving forward. I'm not saying the company itself should produce, but it is if you put in a lot of effort to attract private producers into some of those inputs, like the chemicals they use to treat their water, in 2-3 years, it's possible to attract such investments. And that will be one way they can keep their prices low, so long as they are sourcing half of their inputs locally instead of importing. Right. Just imagine the volumes that they use to export and to import. It is not realistic to have customers bear that burden if the city is not stable.
Okay, let me bring in Stanley to quickly react to some of what you've been saying. If you have a quick reaction, maybe you can do that in some 30 seconds, and then I'd have you answer some other questions. Mr. Marty.
So Patrick spoke about...
oh, yes, and he says it's not realistic what you're calling for. You can react to some of those very quickly.
So I want to start from the chemical issue. That yes, we have also looked at getting producers of these chemicals from Ghana. But so far, if you look at the chemicals that we use, they can't be produced in Ghana. And we welcome any organization that is ready to supply us with chemicals from Ghana. Sometimes we face serious challenges importing them. For instance, we use chlorine gas. Even shipping chlorine gas from other countries to this place, it's a serious challenge. We don't have, the ships sometimes refuse to transport them to Ghana. And
why is that? Why is that? Having had the Ghana Water Company Limited for donkey years, decades, why haven't we implemented mechanisms to ensure the free flow of chlorine gas because it's something that you use. You use it all the time.
We don't own vessels, okay, and I'm wondering whether there's the Ghanaians who own vessels. Okay, so if foreign vessels say they are not interested in carrying chlorine gas because it's very dangerous, what else can you do? There are others who want to do it, but then they want to do it within a certain policy or a certain program, and it becomes very difficult for us to import them in. Now we use chlorine powder. Can chlorine powder also be produced in Ghana? We use hypochlorite, we use alum. If we can get institutions in Ghana who can produce the chemical, it becomes very easy for us. But
let me ask you this interesting question, Mr. Marty. You are using some of your water, even you have G water, for example. You saw an outlet in the business community, and you've moved from production levels of about 3,000 per day to 15,000. How about considering, instead of letting everything be maybe government should help us or private enterprise should help us, how about the Ghana Water Company Limited? Can you source some of your revenue to do this, to shore up your own production? Is that possible?
With everything that we discussed yesterday, with all the successes that we chalked over the years, 90% is from internally generated revenue. It's the little revenues that we collect that we be able to manage them well and invest them back into the system for us to achieve what we have achieved and what we're proud of yesterday. Okay, so we are doing a lot, and it's all from the little monies that we collect. And we are hustling because we don't have cost-reflective tariffs. Okay, so for instance, investment into...
So essentially, because we don't have so much time, so essentially you disagree with Mr. Apoya, who says you're not being realistic in terms of the percentage increments that you're asking for. You disagree with him?
I disagree with him because the PLC gave us a template to populate and to send. I mean, after populating the template, the formula, the results comes out by itself. And they gave us 3 scenarios, and that was exactly what we did. Okay, and our reports go to PLC on monthly basis, and so we have used their audited reports. So it's not like we have cooked figures to come out with the proposals that we did. They are realistic and audited figures, and that is populating the template and coming out with using the formula. That is what comes out.
All right, let's wrap the conversation on this note, and I'll give Mr. Apoya the final bite. But for you, your final bite, Stanley Marty, in terms of the challenges you're facing, it's not just water theft by ordinary Ghanaians, whether they are businesses or, individuals. There are other factors. You talk about illegal mining activities, sand winning, and pollution of water bodies. That is one which also adds up to the turbidity levels, which also compounds your treatment of the water. You speak about frequent power outages leading to a disruption in water supply. And essentially, you also talk about people building on pipelines and encroachment on utility reservations by some communities. Taking out the water theft component, all of these other factors also add to the problems you face. How are you addressing those angles?
Okay, so we are working with the district assemblies so that all encroached properties on our pipelines will be cleared. That is one. With power outages, we are same way working with ECG and NETCO and Gridco to see how best we can have dedicated lines to our major treatment plants so that at least we're going to have a reduction in the frequency of the power outages. Now, when it comes to chemicals and its importation and all that, we have very little control, especially because of the dollar and then the prices on the world market. So whatever is within our control, we are working seriously at it. And then what is beyond our control, we are also working with the powers that be so that we see how best that can be managed.
Mr. Apoya, I'll give you the last bite in some 30 seconds. What are your final thoughts?
Yes, my final thoughts will be, yes, we are not challenging the formula that they use. We know they use a tanker formula, but we are saying whatever that formula has produced, it will be too huge a burden on poor people. And if they will even go ahead with that, then they need to address the problem of compound houses sharing 1 meter, which we have flagged many years over and over again, and they seem not to be interested in doing something about it. The social tariff that they put on the first bracket for consumers, because 10 households may share a meter. Within 1 week, that is gone. And they now keep moving to higher bands of billing. And at the end of the day, the poor people who are staying in compound houses would even pay more than people who are staying alone in bungalows. And it is very regressive. So they need to do something about making sure that all households are getting their own meters instead of lumping 10 people together into a meter in compound houses. If they can do that, then the effect will be minimal. I think we will have a win-win for the company and also for consumers.
Gentlemen,
I think that lies with PULC. For us, we have presented our proposal as requested of us. Now, the final say lies with the PULC. So we're looking up to them. We don't have control over that as well. So we are looking up to them, and as our regulators, whatever they bring out, we'll manage it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Patrick Apoya is a wash specialist. He is a member of CONIWAS. We also have Stanley Marty, who is Director of Communications with the Ghana Water Company Limited. We're grateful that you took the time to join us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right. Right before we take our break, host it. That's hello. How about treating your family to a summer holiday in South Africa? Come journey to South Africa for a good time in our beautiful country. Get to know the locals and our languages. And if you're looking to let your hair down, relax, or you're just in the mood for some fun, family-friendly adventures, South Africa has got everything you need. This summer, Wazanila, come this side and experience a holiday worth talking about. But it's here again. Happy moment is here. Let's storm World Cup Qatar 2022 with Storm Energy Drink, Puma Soft Drinks, and Awake Drinking Water from Casapreco Company Limited. All you have to do, buy your favorite Storm Energy drink, Puma soft drink, Awake Drinking Water, and text the 4-digit unique number on the neck of the bottle to short code *780#. Choose option 2 and follow the prompts on all networks for free. You could be one of the lucky winners to this year's World Cup in the monthly draw. But apart from that, you can also win TVs, fridges, microwave ovens, mobile phones, home theaters, free drinks, and more instantly. So don't waste any time. Grab a bottle of Storm Energy drink, Puma soft drinks, and Awake Drinking Water, and let's storm Qatar this World Cup. This promotion is on the NLA Caritas platform. This advert is FDA approved. Remember, terms and conditions do apply. Now, after the break, when we return, we'd spend some time with Chigozie Obioma. He is the James E. Ryan Associate Professor of English and Creative Writing at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. His 2 novels, The Fisherman, published in 2015, and An Orchestra of Minorities in 2019, were shortlisted for the Booker Prize. His novels have been translated into more than 29 languages. He has an event in Ghana later today at ISSA at the University of Ghana. We'll bring you more details as he joins us for breakfast. Do stay.